Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a large hair barrette using a few of the buttons from the Lunar Eclipse Dress It Up Buttons pack, and some of the dragonflies from our Let Your Spirit Soar Dress It Up button pack. Both of these came with my December Jesse James Beads Design Ambassador Kit, and I think these are going to make a really cute hair barrette. So let's turn down and we'll get started. Okay, so what we're going to need is one large hair barrette blank. This is a French style hair barrette blank. Then we need the bottom pieces that we're going to put the things on, which I have chosen 2 leaves, which will go on either side, and then a little filigree piece for over the top. As well as that, which they're going to be they'll sit like this. We are going to use a couple of the dragonflies and a few of the flowers, and maybe we'll put some leaves on. But let's open this up. And I will want to keep this little tag here with them, so I know what style of buttons these are in case I want some more. Let's get the pliers and pull that thing out. These will go into a jar after I've got them all used what I want, but I want to, like I say, make sure I know what kind they were in case I wish to get some more. And I'm going to go for, I think this one of these glittery purple ones and the glittery blue one here, and the rest we'll put aside. Now I was thinking I would put some leaves on, but I don't think we're going to need those because, as you can see, these butterflies are pretty good sized. And besides that, I'm going to use some of the Lunar Eclipse flowers as well. So now we just have to decide how many and where we're going to put them. Now the design I drew up, I've got about 5 of them on here, and I probably will do that. One of the things we have to do, of course, is cut the shank off. So we'll just need to get some flush cutters and go right to the base of that and snip. And do the same with the other. That one flew because I didn't hold it. Sometimes these fly and sometimes they don't. You're never sure when they're going to. So anyway, so this is going to sit like this, with either side having a dragonfly on it. Now, when I'm making jewelry, I tend to be very symmetrical. When I'm making my hair barrettes, not so much, because let's face it, if it's a nature thing like these are going to be, they wouldn't be symmetrical. They just aren't. So we're going to put like 5 or 6 of these little flowers on here. Actually, I don't think we'll get that many on. I think we may just have to settle for like maybe 4. Let's move you over here some so there's more room here. Let's see if we can get a black one right there. I think that's how it's going to sit. We might be able to get one more flower on, we'll see. But the next step I'm going to do, now that I've decided sort of what we're going to do here, I'm going to paint these bottom pieces with just a little bit of green paint on the vines and the leaves. So we'll put these things aside that we're going to use, and we'll get our paint out. So I use paint pins. These are Staub metallic color pins. I'm told you don't have to put a coating on these to keep them in good, but I always do. So anyway, we're going to color our leaves and the vines in this piece here. So what I do with these is I start by just putting the lighter color in the middle. And then taking the darker color and blending it into the outside. You'll notice that I don't try and keep everything, oh, that's the edge, I gotta keep that right there, because, well, leaves are not perfect. These two can sit aside until we go to put the coating on, and then we will do some on this one. Now these have these cute little vines that go all over, and I tend to just paint the vine. We'll put a little darker green in here as well on these little spots. Now, since I have chosen not to put any other color on these besides the green, these are ready to be sprayed with a coating, and then we'll have to wait for a little while for those to dry. Okay, it's been about a half hour and these pieces have now dried. And the next step is to bend them. I use a bracelet bender to do that. It makes it so much simpler. And fit them to the barrette blank. So just and put it over here where you want it and see how it fits. This one fits pretty good right there as it is, so we'll set it over to that side. And now we bend the other one. See how it does. It also seems to be conforming really nicely, so we'll put that right there. And of course, lastly is our middle piece. And we'll just, this one will probably have to be bent back out, which is what normally happens. So it goes from here to here. As you can see, there's a gap right here. So we want to And that looks pretty good. So the next thing is to get the E6000 out and glue these pieces down. Here's the E6000. We don't need the bracelet bender anymore because we're done with that. So just take this and put glue down on the base bar. And we'll put it all the way across because we're going to glue all these pieces on right now. Close that up until we need it again. And we will need it again because we'll need to put a little bit on the, and then just put these in place. Oop, sticking to my finger. You'll probably want a paper towel close to you so that you can wipe your fingers off when you do that. Okay. See, I'm getting this in the middle as much as possible. I'm going to get a couple of small baby clothespins. These cute. I get these at, well, sometimes I get them at Hobby Lobby, other times I get them at Walmart. Depends on who has them at the time. So we have these done. Now the next step is the big middle piece, which we will probably, we're going to have to take off the pins to put this in place. But as you can see, it's going to go over that green leaf from about here down. So what we're going to do is we're going to carefully put some glue from here and then from here. And close it back up because you can see it's trying to come out of the tube. Okay. So now we're going to need to remove these clips so that we can put this piece in, and then we'll clip it down. Baby, come off there. And it went crooked, which doesn't really surprise me too much. Okay, now get this one out. Okay. Make sure everything's still centered up. The glue on this is wet, so let's wipe it off so that it doesn't close up my pin. But we're going to, okay. This is good, but this is not. So let's get you straightened up. Put that on. Turn it to this side. Make sure this side's straight. And hook this back on. Now we're going to pin this down just a little bit more, and then we're going to let it dry for about 15-20 minutes. Have to watch it because they tend to like to move a little bit while they're drying. And you don't want it to be all cattywampus. So that one is, there we go. Oop. So now it needs to sit for about 15 minutes before we go on with the next step. Okay, let's check this and see if we've let it dry long enough. See, seems to be pretty well on that side. Okay. Now you can see there's some globs of glue there, which we could pull off if we've been, but I'm not going to bother with it. You can pull it off when it's about this dry, as long as it hasn't hardened all the way, by just taking hold of a pair of tweezers and plucking it. But I'm not going to bother because I think I'm going to have a flower sitting right over the top of that. So we have the one dragonfly going to go here. The other going to go here. And we'll have a flower here, and a flower here. And let's see, can we get another one right there? Maybe so. Our next step is to glue all of our flowers and our dragonflies down. So what we need to do is just do exactly that. We'll pick them up. Oops, didn't mean to knock them down like that. And just dab the glue on it. Plop it back in place. The other side here and do it too. Now I'm wearing a shirt that I don't care if I get glue on because, well, I have got glue on it before and it won't really come off. Even if you rub it, you'll get some of it off, but not all of it. So when you're gluing, you got to be careful of that. Oops, that one was the one that was supposed to go in up higher, wasn't it? Okay, we'll just put that up there. Get our dragonfly here. Now this is sort of flexible, so we'll probably pin it down so that it will conform sort of to the barrette. If it needs to. You know, it's sitting down there pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about doing that. Now we need to put the other one on. And lastly, we want to put this other little flower here, right here. Close our glue up. Now we need to see how our dragonflies are sitting. Do they need to be pinned down at all? Okay. Now this one is obviously really close to, yep, it is really close to one of the bins in the Don't want that because it's got too much glue. Still wet on it there. There we go. So we have these stuck in place. And in about 15 minutes, I will check to see if we need to pull any glue out from around the flowers because possibly it's looking a little goopy. So let's put our glue and things and our tools away. And we have 15 minutes to wait to see if we need to do anything more. Okay, we've waited for a while now, so let's see if we're dry enough to pull any of these extra globs of glue off. This one looks good. Most of the time you're going to find you're going to get these little runnels of glue that looks sort of like a weird little hair coming through things. And you can usually pick them off easily. This one has a little extra glue right here on the edge of the flower. Let's see if we can get that to come off easily. If you try it too soon, it'll give you a glob and be really sticky still. If you do it too late, it won't come off at all. This glue is well, it's pretty well permanent once it gets on there and dries all the way. So once you get some glue on your tweezers, just pull it off with your fingers or a paper towel because you don't want it to sit on there and harden up either. So let's see if we've got any place else we need to clean up. The other little flowers are looking good. Let's see if we can take the pins off of the dragonflies. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So there we go. There's our barrette. It will need to dry for 24 hours to set the glue up all the way, but it's looking pretty good. And there she sits. And we'll put her away so she can dry out. Okay, so there's our finished hair barrette made with the Let Your Spirit Soar dragonflies and the Lunar Eclipse little black, gray, and white flowers. Now this needs to sit for another approximately 24 hours to be dried up solid, but it is finished, and now all we got to do is let it dry. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, working with my December Jessie James Beads Design Ambassador Kit, Dress It Up Buttons, Let Your Spirit Soar, and Lunar Eclipse. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.